Mercedes boss Toto Wolff believes it is vital that his team understands why their new Formula 1 improvements work so well, although acknowledging that the rush to upgrade a lot and very fast raise worries. And these worries are exactly what Mercedes wants to avoid if it wants to keep improving. First, they didn't know what made them so slow, and now they're unsure of the reasons that made them fast. Are Mercedes still figuring out the current regulations? The German manufacturer took a significant stride forward in the form at the Spanish Grand Prix, finishing second and third behind race winner Max Verstappen. The promise of its updated car, that features new side pods, front suspension and floor, is evident as the team looks to cut the gap to Red Bull. However, Wolff believes it is critical that Mercedes designers take stock of the present package and completely understand it before moving forward with more alterations. When asked about the ambitions to increase the car's performance, Wolff said that the rapid pace of the changes had raised certain concerns that needed to be addressed. He has stated that the speed with which Mercedes committed to introducing the improvements meant that the team was unable to perform as much study of the tweaks as it may have done with more frequent updates. "We just need to continue to grind away because it's not so much about how quick it is, it's about how good our understanding is," he said. "We've been rushing things over the last 2 months, and that worried us because it was a little bit circumventing the process, but so far it's paid off." Wolff also believes that Mercedes should not become comfortable and believe that the Spanish GP potential is confirmation that it is now on track to defeat Red Bull. As Red Bull still seem to have a big gap to the rest, and they will too keep updating the car for the time being. While he is certain that the scenario is different from a year ago, when a move forward in pace at the Spanish GP did not translate to following races, he does not want to get too excited just yet. "We need to manage our own expectations," he said. "We were really upset in the Spanish Grand Prix qualifying because we believed P2, P3 was in and it wasn't. So I don't want to go to Canada and say there's another second and third there because it could be easily a fifth and a sixth. There is more to understand." Hamilton, on the other hand, is certain that Mercedes' success in Spain is a true reflection of where the team is heading, even though it still faces stiff competition from Aston Martin and Ferrari. "They normally say if you're quick in Barcelona, then the car should generally be good everywhere, and I think we will be strong in the next races," he explained. "There will be times when the Aston may be slightly ahead, or the Ferrari maybe is ahead, but I think our pace continues to be a strength of ours as it was last year. I think this weekend particularly, we understood the car even more, so I think we can count on that being strong moving forward. We've just got to try to lift the overall performance of the car a little bit more to try to close the gap to these guys Red Bull." But it's certain that Mercedes head Toto Wolff thinks his team's massive step forward at the Spanish Grand Prix feels different from the false dawn during last year's event in Barcelona. The result in Spain, along with the W14's impressive performance throughout the race, suggests that Mercedes' car redesign has achieved a big jump forward in form after months of suffering with its zero-pod idea. But the memories of 2022, when the team anticipated that great performance at the Spanish GP, would signal a return to form only to fall flat on its face in the following races, have taught it not to get too carried away just yet. While Wolff does not take anything for granted, he does concede that the scenario does not appear to be a replay of what occurred a year ago. Asked if there was a belief that the Spanish GP progress was the reality of where Mercedes is right now, Wolff said, "I'm never optimistic. Only fools are optimistic. But generally, I think it feels different to last year. There's still a bouncing, which is interesting to understand why that is, but we've learned so much in the last 12 months. That's why I generally have lots of reasons to be a little bit more carefully confident." Hamilton seemed to have the speed to put Mercedes on the first row in Barcelona, but he was delayed on his last runs by car damage sustained in a collision with teammate Russell at the conclusion of Q2. During the race, it was difficult to see how his form compared to Verstappen because Red Bull was using a different tyre strategy for much of the afternoon. The only time both cars were on the same tyre was during the penultimate soft stint, when the Mercedes seemed a couple attempts slower. Both attempted the fastest lap at the same time, with Hamilton finishing 3 tenths behind, despite benefiting marginally from the usage of DRS. Wolff estimated that the distance between Mercedes was now close to a few tenths, which he described as a significant improvement given where the team had been earlier this year. "I think it is 2-3 tenths, he said. "That's how we would judge it today. And that's a massive step forward, but we need to remain cool because last year, we looked pretty decent in Barcelona. However, as long as the trajectory goes upwards, It's going to be like share prices that go up and down. There's going to be moments, tougher moments, but I'm pleased for the job that has been done in Brickworth and Brackley. Wolff also applauded Mercedes employees for being gutsy enough to abandon the zero-pod concept and take a different strategy with their car. It's testament to the hard work that has been happening over the last few months, and the courage in terms of the development direction in deciding to embark on completely new front suspension, floor, bodywork and many other bits, he said. We have a really more solid platform to develop from, now that we understand and a little bit more than before. So what's next for Mercedes with the Canadian Grand Prix? Will they be up there again, or was this race a false dawn again? What are your thoughts on Mercedes' chances this weekend? Andrew Chauvelin believes the Canadian Grand Prix this week will be a bigger challenge for his Formula 1 team than his weekend in Barcelona. Chauvelin anticipates a more difficult weekend for the Silver Arrows due to the low downforce nature of Montreal's circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which is the opposite of the Barcelona circuit, where its revamped 2023 car was competitive. The fact is that the update kit works very well around circuits like Barcelona with a lot of high-speed performance, Chauvelin said in Mercedes' post-race debrief. We've been better at the fast circuits and the front-limited tracks. We ended up with a really good balance and a really good race pace. Now, where we are going to go next week, Montreal, it's a very different circuit. There are more low-speed corners, quite a lot of straight-line full throttle, and we would expect more of a challenge. We're not thinking that we're going in nipping at the heels of Red Bull. We are aware that Canada is likely to be a bigger challenge than the Sunday we just had in Barcelona. Mercedes, according to Chauvelin, will slip back into the clutches of the pursuing pack behind Red Bull, which includes Aston Martin and Ferrari. Alpine, he feels, will also join the club considering Esteban Ocon's recent podium in Monaco. We're thinking it will be more along the lines of some of the earlier races, where we were definitely in the bunch with Ferrari, with Aston, and now Alpine look to have joined that group, he explained. But it's great racing here. It'll be good fun, and we're certainly going to be fighting to find every little bit of performance we can. The way the grid stacks up now, you can be P2 or you can be P10, and there are only a few tenths in it. It looks like Mercedes will be anticipating on another great race with fine margins. And if the other teams will bring their A-game again, it could be a fun one to watch. Will you be watching this weekend's Grand Prix? And who are you seeing ending up on the podium? If Mercedes are unable to reproduce their big result again, they will certainly be up there again in a couple of races, as upgrades are coming fast for the W14, and it could be as soon as the British Grand Prix. George Russell has stated that the Mercedes Grand Prix may bring the next important wave of improvements for Mercedes. Last Grand Prix's performance was good, even though team manager Toto Wolff sought to dampen expectations by pointing out that the chilly weather conditions put the car in an excellent performance window. However, Mercedes is continuing its road of making fundamental modifications to the W14 after ordering a change of design concept, following a slower than expected start to 2023. Russell also mentioned that his and Hamilton's home race may be a preview of what the team will deliver in early July. Yeah, Silverstone we're excited for, Russell said. I think you'll be in a good place there to fight for a good result. We might have a couple more things coming for Silverstone. But we need to not get too carried away with just this one result. The team have done an amazing job to bring these upgrades. Exciting times for Mercedes fans. Are they finally back? Was Spain the start of a big turnaround for the Silver Arrows? And what can we expect from them this season? Could they be able to stop Red Bull's dominance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.